You aware that Memphis is predominantly African American?
I am not.
So to my sponsor, who went to law school at the University of Memphis and lived there for 3 years, you're telling me you're not aware that Memphis is predominantly African American. Am I
I didn't have any black friends there. Say it.
correct?
Senator Lamar, he's answered that.
Is the sponsor aware that Shelby County is predominantly African American?
I'm not aware.
Are you aware that Tennessee's 9th congressional district is the only majority African American congressional district in this state?
No, I have no knowledge of that.
Memphis is a majority black city with 0.9 to 65% of the population.
Problem? Trollface?
I had no idea that.
Feel like I've been in a Klan meeting for 3 days. I mean, it feels like that a lot of times on the House floor in Tennessee, but this was so blatant. It is utterly
Wait. They split up Memphis into 3 different pieces, effectively taking away all the seats. Hold on. Can you link me like a before and after for that map? I'm just curious what that looks like.
ridiculous.
How are
And
they allowed
when
to do that?
What do you mean?
Well, I would think that like if you're gonna do districts, it would be like city inclusive.
No, you can do it
I
however
didn't
you
think
want.
You, could, like,
you don't have to do it on any of those
I don't
grounds.
know.
The issue is that, and again, we'll go back to reading this probably after this, is that the Voting Rights Act, I think, was kind of supposed to prevent this. But Alito, from the 37 pages we've read so far, seems like Alito has basically said, as long as somebody doesn't say, I hate black people, while they're drawing their maps, then they're completely
You're
and
good to
totally
go.
scot-free, basically. Yeah, as long as you're not literally screaming from the rooftops that you're trying to racially gerrymander, there's no way that anybody can touch any of the
That's
maps you
because the
draw.
totality of the circumstances
It's gone. Yes.
Kind of removed. Yeah.
Yeah.
So now it's literally like, well, did they say it? Yes or no? Like
Basically, yes. Yeah. Which is why that guy before was asking about, like, so how did you draw these maps using only census data? So, like, in the past, I believe when the Supreme Court shot down North Carolina trying to do a gerrymander, my guess is it would have been done. I didn't actually read the case. I just read articles about it because I wasn't reading cases back then. But they shot it down, I'm pretty sure, because the term they used was surgically targeted black people. And part of the reason was because North Carolina was literally requesting census data and doing it on racial boundaries. They were shutting down certain polling places, disallowing certain types of ID, changing like early voting restrictions, all things that were cutting against black people voting. And
Yeah, it's pretty obvious.
Yeah, it was incredibly obvious enough to shoot it down. But now that same analysis, my guess is that analysis would fail now because they would say, well, unless they are actually not saying it, but
do you think that this should have been legislated then?
It is utterly ridiculous.
I can't pause it. Sorry. Legislated? It was called the Voting Rights Act.
Sorry. What I meant is like it should we start putting things and codifying it into like amendments and shit? I understand that the barrier for that is really fucking hard.
The problem is
but
that
it seems like we're getting activist judges often now.
So one of the things that I kept arguing, but the problem is you just have to go so deep to understand this. One of the things I kept arguing before was that a lot with Hutch is that if you've decided you want to do something, the legal argument is
there.
trivial. Yeah, you can do whatever you want. I mean, these people are fairly clever. Like in the Alito ruling, like the idea that the Voting Rights Act has stood for 40, however, or 50, whatever fucking years, and we've always assumed this one thing about it, but nobody's actually analyzed this thing about it. So we're going to completely turn this entire fucking law around on its head to completely reverse how it's ever been understood in the past. If you're going to start getting into interpretations of law like that, I mean, you can basically just change and do whatever the fuck you want. It doesn't really matter. You can just do whatever. So I don't know what law you could pass to save yourself from people like Alito and Thomas.
Yeah.
Times on the House floor in Tennessee, but this was so blatant. It is utterly ridiculous. And when you see, I stood up and I talked about how the map was racist, and I said it was a white power rally and all of these things. And then when one of my colleagues, a young black man, Rep. Justin Jones, used the same language I use, he was called out.
So I think Memphis is down here. Is the city is down here?
Instead of being 2, it's 3 now.
No. Well, it was like majority. It seems 1, and now they've cut it into 3. It's kind of cut up on stream into 3 different.
I see what you're saying.
Where they've like taken away absolutely based. Sheesh.
Isn't it that in these districts, when they do this type of thing, that they can gerrymander and they can give themselves an edge, but they also do make themselves weaker in moments of like extreme turnout, right? Like if you were to,
theoretically, yes. Yep.
yeah, right. So it's not all bad. Like they're doing this, but they're also giving up some strongholds in exchange for trying to get more territory. So it can go against them as well,
Theoretically, yeah.
can.
Yeah.
Sure.
except in Massachusetts.
How are state legislatures done? It's not like a popular vote where everybody in the fucking state, it's like done by, I would assume.
You mean how are like
districts?
state
Yeah.
congressmen or whatever chosen?
Yeah.
I have no fucking idea. It might vary per state. I don't know.
And
Because
he
it seems
lost
pretty
his
retarded that like you could live in Memphis and you get like one congressman, right? But then all of these retarded like fucking Republican districts all get like 10 because they're just more land. I don't know.
I don't know. Depends on other states too.
time to speak, and they were objecting to him saying the things. You know, how do you demonstrate how racist that House floor is by letting the white woman say what she wants to say, but when a black man does that, you object and cut his time?
Well, you know, the lawmakers that are responding to you tonight, they insist that this has nothing to do with race. They insist it was purely political. Listen.
The maps were drawn to maximize the potential Republican partisan advantage by winning and having a chance and opportunity to win all 9 congressional districts for the Republican Party.
What's your response? This is about red and blue, not black and white.
Bless their hearts. They are such liars. They know what they are doing. They absolutely know. As a matter of fact, one of the things that was said today on the House floor, which was very interesting and very telling, they said that they used census data to draw the maps, and then they claimed it was partisan. There's no partisanship in census data. They said the only data they used was census data. And then they said that it was based on partisanship, but there is no partisanship data with census data. So they're not the sharpest knives in the drawer. They're vicious, they're evil, and they're racist. But they're also cowards. They know that they can't win this next election on their ideas, and so they're going to have to cheat to get more seats. And that's what this was.
You think Hutch is sweating right now?
I don't know. The Republican Party to black voters as they silence their voice in Congress. Wow.